Alright, it's time for the chopstick arms. So there's a right and a left. This is, I would call the right. This is the left. If you look at the left, the top of it has a little, is spaced down from this one because they're supposed to go into the carriage one on top of the other. So this is kind of rough here. I can't remember which part of this got printed with supports, or did we just stick it up in the air? I can't remember exactly. I guess it probably printed like this, and there were supports under here. But looks most likely. I'd have to look back at the tape, but in any case, we're going to do some sanding on this to smooth it out, because we want these to slide against each other with, you know, smoothly. We don't want to take too much material off, obviously, but enough to get it so that it goes smoothly up against each other. So this one's on top, so that means this side looks fine, and this side looks fine. So it's only these sides that we'll probably print it with supports or something. So okay, so then when they're stacked on top of each other, then this centerpiece here, I can't really get it together on the camera, but these two posts here then connect up with each other. I can show you this way. And they hit, so that then it won't go any farther than that. So as the first step for the chopsticks, we need to glue these rails on here. Now the real one, these rails are on a little drive and they move back and forth, so they can move the booster or the Starship laterally to the tower, so they can line it up with either the launch mount for the booster or the top of the booster for the Starship. So of course these don't move on this one, but that's fine. These give a nice large area to glue onto, so that's fine. And it looks like you're supposed to put it flush with the outside of this. So this post sticks out here. I'm going to put it flush with this last member here. That's the idea. So I'm going to put my gloves on so we don't get glue all over our fingers, and then we'll glue this up. Alright, so this rail has a thick side and a thin side. So the thin side goes on top here, and the thick side goes up against this side. Both these are pretty flat, so I'm just going to put some glue in this angle here and then stick it on there, and just hold it until it sticks, I guess. Maybe could put a rubber band on it, I don't know. I'm just going to hold on to it, make sure it lines up with the end of this thing so it looks better. Just hold on to it there. I'll just hold that and then until it dries. Alright, so that side is dry enough to let go of anyway. Do the same thing on the other side. And again, the thick side goes down. Thick side goes down and the thin side goes across here. So I'm not gluing all the way to the edge here because there's less chance of it dripping out. So I'm just giving about maybe a centimeter at the end there. That doesn't have glue on it. So we don't... yeah, let's hold on to that too until it dries, and then we'll be done with this part of it. Alright, so these are dry now. And I realized, once I started looking at it more closely, when the carriage is put together here and you connect the top and bottom with the chopstick arms, then it's going to hold the top and bottom of the carriage together. So gluing this is a no-go. You should not glue this joint here, but gluing one side of the dowel pin I think is a good idea, so that it won't come out. But you don't need to glue that, and I don't even want to put anything in there like I was talking about before, like silicone tape. So we'll see how well it holds together. So the way these things have to go in is they have to be stacked up in between these jaws here on the top and the bottom, and that I might need to do some more sanding to get it to fit in there smoothly. So let's see. Maybe we can put the one side in first. Is that going to work? No. So we need to kind of put it together at the same time, which could be tricky. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some rubber bands on this carriage to keep it together so it doesn't come apart. I think that's a good idea. Put some rubber bands on the arms of the carriage. Now this won't come apart, but it can still move around and get lined up correctly. So little tip I just thought of on the fly here. Then we'll see how well these fit in here. As far as fitting between these jaws, because I don't think there's a lot of clearance here, so. Get that block out of the way. It's going to be tricky to install this dowel pin in here. First you have to get it lined up, and then you have to be able to get it in there. This bracket for the pulley block is kind of in the way, which just doesn't sound like a good design to me. Try to put the bottom one in first. That's a good plan. Can't do two. I don't have 4 hands, so I can't do both at the same time. So the way this works is, remember, this one sits underneath this one on top, so it has to be underneath on the bottom too. So we'll put this in and slide this one on top of it. Let's see if there's enough room in there. It doesn't look like there's hardly enough room at all in there. Alright, so I need to do a lot of sanding on these surfaces here to make sure they're thin enough so both sides will fit into these little jaws here. Alright, after a lot of sanding, another manipulation, I got the bottom one in with the file. Now I got to get that dowel pin in there, which is going to be easier said than done. So it helped to prop up. This is section 8. It helped to prop up one side on section 8 and the other side on this little tray to make it so that you don't have to hold everything steady all at once. So this is going to be tricky. Let's see if we can get it in from this side using our pliers. To get it started, and then you can push it more with the pliers. So let's make sure it's lined up. Yeah, so it's still lined up. And we're going to push this out slowly. I'm trying to push this one in. It is going in. Keep everything lined up. We'll use our pliers. It's probably a lot easier on the 196, 1:96 scale. Everything's bigger, so I found it interesting, and I'm not surprised at this point. It doesn't have a video assembling the orbital launch tower, or orbital launch integration tower, so I can see why. This is going to be a multi-part video that's going to be pretty long, but I'm going to do my best to show you how I did it. In all its gory detail, and then you can probably want to watch it at fast speed or something, but I'll try to explain as best I can how I did it, and then maybe that'll help you. That's my goal. I just think of an idea here. Having a longer dowel pin and then cutting it off might be a way to do it. Alright, so it's all the way in now. Alright, so that's one side. So we got one side in, now we have to get the other side in. So you can tell here there's going to be some flexing necessary to get these top ones to go into the joint. I'll have to check this part. I may have to make sure that the top of the carriage is sitting flush on the post here. Maybe there's a little bit of a gap there. Alright, I see the problem. So the problem was the rubber bands, which are helpful, but they also tilt this away from you. That's why they weren't going in smoothly on top there. So I have to flex it back so that they both go in there. I think I'm going to take the rubber bands off now. Might be easier. Okay. Just make sure the bottom doesn't come off. I'm probably going to glue this because I don't want it ever to come apart. So. All right, so I got it lined up using the file here. So I would say this job is pretty much impossible unless you can get a locator pin like this file to get things lined up, or it's just going to be impossible to line up. So that's just my experience. Maybe you're better at it than I am. So we retract the file slightly, and then we push this in. Looks like it's going in pretty easily this time. Keep retracting the file and keep inserting the dowel pin. All right, hooray! Victory! All right, so there's our chopstick arms, and these little posts are meeting in the middle, so that means they're lined up. So, all right, and then that, like I said before, that holds the carriage together. It has a little bit of play back and forth, but that's going to make it easier to go up and down on the tower. So, now the only question is, I think I'm going to put some glue in these dowel pins because I don't want them ever coming out. And I'll just glue them from the bottom and keep them in this direction so that the glue doesn't get up into the joint here. So I'm going to glue them from the bottom and then keep them this way until they're dry. I got my paper towel handy to make sure I don't drip too much. And we'll just put some on there. This one and this one. Try to work quickly here so it can't get down in there. Just put too much on this side, I'm going to take some off. This side looks okay. I'm going to put it this way. And then, it looks like it's okay, but I'm just going to hold it. I'm going to hold it like this until it dries, you know. I'll just set this down so it can dry. I don't want these jaws moving because it's going to move that dowel pin on the bottom and it'll probably stop it from drying. So we'll try to set this somewhere safe here, so it can dry without touching anything. These are mostly dry. I just periodically I'm slowly moving this a little bit so I want to make sure it doesn't glue in place. So I'll set this aside some more, but keep an eye on it. Now we're going to put together the quick disconnect arm. So for this one, this is the bracket that goes on the tower. So it's got slots for engaging the tower post. And then it goes around this thing. So this is another thing that was printed with support, so there's a lot of rough material in here, and we're going to sand it out. I found this regular wood sander, metal wood sanding file, or actually it's for metal, metal sand it is. Actually, it's still too big to fit in there, but for the other one, for the brackets on the chopsticks, I found this to be a lot quicker and better. Now this is a big area here that was printed with supports, and it's not very smooth. Like some of the support material stuck to it. That's like what happened there. Actually, yeah. So the bottom layer of this didn't print that great. So it was printed this way, and the supports are down here. I think this is the one I was wondering, why didn't I just print it this way? Then I wouldn't need any supports, I don't think. Although, this is a little bit of an overhang here, but I think this could have probably printed okay. But anyway, I'm not going to reprint it now. But we'll use the other file, this smaller file, smooth out these brackets here on each side. I can't remember how I printed this one. It must have been printed like this with some more support. So yeah. So this is a little bit rough here. I'll sand that down a little bit. This side had the support material started on this side. All right, let's put this on and see how it fits. Still some. Let's get that off. Alright, so that fits on there pretty well. It's okay if it's a little bit stiff, it doesn't matter. It's better to be stiff than loose, really. Alright, so we're going to use our same system. Line these up. Now this is so stiff. I mean, this is such a tight fit that once I get this lined up, I don't need to use this anymore. I can just put the dowel pin in. So this quick disconnect arm requires 6 dowel pins, which 10mm dowel pins, which I cut already. So that fits in there really loosely, so I'll have to put some glue on that at some point. We'll line up this side. So unlike those, this connection is a little more. Yes, this one's fallen out already. Okay. This one fits more snugly for whatever reason, the way the hole printed. This one just falls out. Okay. So I'll get in there, and I'll actually glue it from the side. That'll work. So I glue it from the side, and no glue should get in that joint, hopefully. At least not very much. Like the other one, I'll start it this way, then I'll turn it outside. Keep that dowel pin from sliding in there. Okay. I'll have to check on this joint before it completely dries to make sure, just like the chopstick arms, make sure they don't freeze up on me. So these are still turning. A little bit of friction, but the gluing here worked okay. So I'm not going to glue the top side. It's not really necessary. Just another chance to mess up this joint here. So this is moving nicely for the chopstick, so I like that. Alright, so we're checking this now, make sure. Still rotates, so we're okay. So now the next step is to take this arm, and there's 2 other arms here. Yeah. So one of them, are they both the same? They look similar. Yeah, they're both the same pretty much. This has a lot of material in it too, so I'm going to sand this up like I did the other ones, but I'm not going to show that. Alright, so now I sanded this down so it works well. I put some glue on the other side of this. This is called the carriage, and this is a quick disconnect arm, the main part of it. And this is the extension part, I guess. I'm sure how these are going to cook together, we'll find out. Anyway, so these are mirror images of each other. Make sure you get them lined up the right way. So this arm goes like this. I think this is going to glue into here or something like this. That's what it looks like. We'll find out in a minute. Or maybe it's this way, I don't know. Anyway, so these go in like this. They bracket the top and bottom of this thing. And then this shape goes on that side. I'll get it lined up. And these holes in this arm here don't go all the way through. They only go down 5mm, so we're going to be using 10mm dowel pins again. Okay. Okay, that one's lined up. So I'm going to go ahead and put the dowel pins on this side while it's lined up. Okay, that's in there. I have to glue these too, it looks like. Those are just going to fall out, so. Alright, so we better glue those now, then we'll do the other ones. So these are a little bit too long, so once they're glued, I'll snip off the ends. That might be a good clue for a lot of these dowel pins, is make them long, maybe even twice as long, and they're easy to snip off. Alright, so we're going to put some glue on either side of this and then hold it this way so it doesn't drip into that joint, hopefully. So put some on here. I'll put some on here. And just keep it on its side so it doesn't drip into that joint. Well, check it. Check it as it's drying to make sure it doesn't lock in there. So we're going to check this again. This is okay. It's in there solid now. So, alright, so I'll let this one dry while I'm checking it, and then I'll do the other one. The other one's the same thing. Just make sure that this shape goes this way. So I'm not going to show that. It's the same thing as this side. Alright, so while that's drying, again, I'm checking it periodically to make sure those joints don't freeze up. This is with the actual quick disconnect mechanism that hooks up to the Starship. It's got these two pipes here, two little nozzles here, one for methane and one for oxygen. We need to glue this to this. It's just a flat surface, but this side is pretty flat. There's some support roughness here, so we're going to get rid of that. And I think I showed earlier when I took this off that it was almost impossible to get the support material out from inside this little bracket here. So I'm just leaving it in there. For my purposes, it doesn't matter. So it was just too hard to get out of there. So if I was designing this part, I designed it differently, so you didn't have to have that support material in there, but that's the way it is. We're going to flatten this side off slightly, make sure we get a good, and also rough it up a little bit. It's probably a good idea. Now it'd be nice if there was a little socket that this end fit into, so just a butt joint, so then it would have some mechanical connection to it, but it doesn't. So let's put a drop of glue on here. And we'll press this up against it. It doesn't matter which direction it goes, except the pipe should be pointing to the side. So I should have put my gloves on, but it's kind of too late now. So I'll center that on there. And I'll just press it down and hold it until it dries. Alright, so this is dry now, so I need to glue this to this. And just, again, there's no specific location where this is supposed to attach. This is a flat surface, this is a flat surface. So nice to have a little gap there. So this has to be able to, this is fully retracted and this is fully extended. So I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work up against the Starship. I guess I could go get it. Let me go get my Starship and we'll see how this actually goes up against it. Alright, so here's my Starship. I have the fins off, so don't have to worry about them. So this says it's fully extended, and that's when the quick disconnect arm is farther away from the Starship. So this is going to sit here. And then when it's fully retracted, it says it goes like this. It seems like that's backwards. Doesn't really matter. It's possible on the 196 scale one. I'm guessing these. I have to look at it, but maybe these little arms rotate up and everything. Probably they do. So this is fine. Just shows. For my purpose, I want to show how the Starship works and the orbital launch tower as a unit, and make sure everything clears here. So I'm gonna have to snip off. I'll snip off these dowel pins here. That way they won't get in the way of this. But this looks like it's supposed to be above it, but it's not really. It's kind of these little arms here rest on these moving jaws here. So it definitely goes this way with the little pipes from side to side, because that's the side to side on this side, so that's where it sticks in. Alright, well, let's see. Let me go ahead and snip these off. That one just kind of cracked off, which is fine. You can sand these a little bit too to get them out of the way once they're nipped off. Yeah, so if you left them too short, you can always use a file. Sand these off a little bit. So I'm going to do it this way. We don't leave any sharp edges too, so that's a good thing. Alright, so this is still moving okay, so that's good. It seems solid. These aren't going to come out. That's all a plus. So now we got this thing. Well, let's put it back on there. It definitely goes this way. Yeah, see, this is basically square, but it's tilted slightly to this side, so This little leg here hits that thingy a little bit, but I think it's fine. So we'll just glue it. I'll glue it with these arms extended, and I'll just glue it this way. So this end is supposed to, you see this cutout here? This little flat pad here is supposed to go up against, so it's flush with that thing. And we just want to center this, it looks like. Yeah. Alright, so we'll put some glue on this, and then we'll hold it on there and hope for the best. So put 3 drops of glue on here, and 2 on here, or 1 bigger one. We'll flip it over. It's definitely this side. Yeah. Okay. And we'll just try to get it centered. Hold it in place until the glue dries. We should put a rubber band on this. Let's put rubber bands on this. It's gonna work better than me holding. Well, me holding it is also good, but triple loop rubber band is gonna hold better. Okay, so here's this arm coming this direction. This is the carriage, and then this goes this way. Okay. So it kind of goes out like this. Now this does have a little insert and a pad here, so that's going to glue a lot better because there's some mechanical connection there. So this is supposed to go like this. Yeah. Okay. So let's figure out how we're going to clamp this. I guess we have a good way to clamp this, so I'll have to hold it. Rubber bands aren't really going to work for this. This opening here, this was an overhang, and it's kind of sloppy here. You know, it was printed this way, and then there was no support in here. So this is a really small area. So it's these are rounded. It would have been better if you did a 45-degree angle instead of a rounded profile. Then that would have printed perfectly without any sagging. So there's a bunch of sagging here. So we're going to have to get some of that out. Get that pad to fit in there carefully. So we'll just rip some of this out here. That sagging is just coming off. So yeah. So whenever I print, if I have an overhang that's going to stick out from the model, if at all possible, I print at a 45-degree angle, or maybe at the most 60 degrees. Because then when you print it, then each layer below, each layer above rests on the layer below that sticks out, and so you don't have this kind of sagging problem. So that would be a suggestion of improvement in the model. Is for this, there's no reason for this to be rounded. It's covered up by this joint, so there's no reason to round this off. It doesn't make any sense. All right, so I cleaned this up, so it nests in here okay. The other thing I would say about this joint, this is a kind of a weak joint here. Just have a butt joint. So if I was designing this, I'd have a nub sticking out on this side and a socket on this side, so there was more of a three-dimensional connection between these two. Or you could even use a locator pin, right? You use locator pins in other parts of the Starship, I think. So this joint, I'm expecting it to get broken at some point when I'm out in the field, so that's okay. If it happens, I can put some black tape on it. So I might do that to strengthen it up. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm not optimistic about this joint. So again, we want to make sure we get this in the right orientation or it's not going to work. So this way. So the quick disconnect connector's on the top, just like in the diagram, and this arm comes around this side, and this goes like this. So his three-dimensional pictures and the assembly instructions are great. So I don't have any problem. I don't have a lot of complaints about those. Now, did I do this on the ground? All right, we're gonna hold it like that, and until it dries. All right, so this is holding. I don't think it's that strong yet. So we're gonna go around the outside of it and put more glue on the outside of this joint. So extra strong. Hopefully it's not going to fall apart here while I'm doing this. Alright, I want to wipe off some of this gently so I don't stress the joint while it's drying. Definitely want to wear gloves for this operation. So I was smart this time. Alright, so that's pretty good. And I'm probably going to reinforce this with some black electrical tape because, again, I'm out in the field. I don't want it breaking. It's just going to mess me up. So we'll see how this goes. But I could use Gorilla Glue. It'll probably stick better, maybe. But you have to clamp it because it expands. So best thing to do would be to have a like I said, a locator pin or two, actually. One or two, at least one. If you had one, it would be enough, actually. Locator pins to connect these joints, or figure out some way to print this all as one thing. That would be even better. I'm not sure why you can't print it as one thing. You look at this. This arm extends here. This could all be printed like this. Like this was printed on this. Yeah. Anyway, I think it could have been printed as one thing, and then you wouldn't have this joint at all. So it's like Elon Musk. The best part is no part. So if there was one less part to print, it was all one big giant part, then it would be better. So,
if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Post a comment if you have any questions or ideas, and I'll try to respond. That's all for now, but more videos are coming, and if you want to see them, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification icon if you don't want to miss one. This is Beta Cygni signing out, and keep looking up.